Without Gaddafi, there might be no African Union. But his involvement also raised questions. Whose dream was this, really? And what would happen when he was gone? South Africa's Thabo Mbeki was Gaddafi's opposite. Intellectual, where Gaddafi was impulsive; diplomatic, where Gaddafi was confrontational. Mbeki represented a different vision for Africa's future. As deputy president and then president of South Africa, Mbeki championed the African Renaissance, a belief that Africa could rise through good governance, democracy, and self-reliance. He was a product of the anti-apartheid struggle, educated in exile, trained in strategy and patience. Mbeki pushed for the new Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, an economic plan that promised African-led development in exchange for improved governance. While Gaddafi threw money at problems, Mbeki negotiated structures and institutions. Together, these two very different leaders would shape the African Union, one providing resources and revolutionary energy, the other providing legitimacy and diplomatic skill. Not all key players were individuals, some were groups. The frontline states, nations like Tanzania, Zambia, Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Botswana had fought together against colonialism and apartheid. They had experience cooperating across borders for liberation. They understood that Africa's problems required African solutions. Leaders like Tanzania's Julius Nyerere had been champions of Pan-Africanism since the 1960s. Though Nyerere had retired by 2002, his influence lived on. He had proven that African unity wasn't just theoretical, it could be practical, especially in the face of common enemies. But not everyone believed in the African Union dream. Some leaders saw it as a threat to their power. Others saw it as an expensive distraction from real problems. Nations like Nigeria and Egypt, giants of African politics, worried about losing influence in a united structure. Smaller nations feared being dominated by larger, wealthier neighbors. Outside Africa, Western powers watched nervously. A truly united Africa could challenge the post-colonial economic order. It could control its own resources, set its own terms, resist external manipulation. France, Britain, and the United States had spent decades maintaining influence through bilateral relationships with individual African nations. A strong African Union could change everything.